Hey, what's going on, guys? This is HDX here, and I wanted to talk about this great classic right here. And it's one of my favorite video game classics of all time. Ever since I was a little kid, I always enjoyed this. It's Streets of Frickin' Rage. Yes, Streets of Rage is one of my favorite side-scrolling beat 'em up games of all time, and I always remember playing this on the Sega Genesis when I was a kid. When me and my cousin, we always popped this bad boy on the Sega Genesis, and let me tell you, we played the hell out of it. You see right here in the title screen, Streets of Rage. It was released in 1991 by Sega, and the music was made by Yuzo Koshiro. Let me tell you, this guy right here made one of the best music in this game. I mean, one of the best soundtracks for a video game. He also made music for the Shinobi games, and let me tell you, I mean, I always love the Shinobi games, but what we're gonna talk about it right here is Streets of Rage here, that you could choose from 3 characters within this game, 3 protagonist characters. As you can see here, I'm playing as Axel. I mean, I always play as Axel. I mean, I sometimes just play Blaze here because I always loved her when I was a kid, but I digress. I mean, I always love the graphics here, 16-bit awesomeness. Yes, with the dark, gritty, urban style here, and you can listen to the music here, as you can hear from the background here. Check it out. Just give it a listen here. Boom, 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 boom. Yes, I always love it here. I mean, I'm a fan of house music. I'm a fan of techno music, and I always love the Streets of Rage soundtrack. Let me tell you. And what I like about this game is not only just the music, but I also enjoy the gameplay. I also enjoyed the graphics, as you can see here. I mean, I always enjoyed the environment. It's such a joy to play it. It's always been, and it's always will be. And some people will be like, I never heard of Streets of Rage, and I always like, let me tell you, I recommend this game. I always tell them, I always recommend this game here. It's a classic, a hell of a gem. That is perfect for the Sega Genesis, and it's perfect for your collection. If you can find it, I mean, you can find it like for $5 or $10, give it take a few. You're gonna enjoy this classic to the fullest until your console is burned. I mean, until it gets hot. I mean, until it gets really hot. I'm sorry about that, but I digress. I always enjoyed the boss battles. I always enjoyed the fighting style. I always enjoyed each and every single minute. Me and my cousins, we always loved this game to the fullest. And actually, believe it or not, the first game that got me into Streets of Rage is the second game, Streets of Rage 2, as you can see right here. And let me tell you, this stepped up the game a notch. It stepped up a notch. I mean, adding 3 more characters. I mean, as here, Max the wrestler, Axel and Blaze from the first game, and Skate, one of the younger characters in this game. And let me tell you, I always enjoyed the music. I mean, just give it a listen. See, what I gotta tell you, it is an awesome game. I mean, it steps up much better. I mean, this is one of my favorite Streets of Rage games within the trilogy, and the reason I say that because this is one of the first games that I always played it with my cousin when I was like 5 to 6 years old at the time, back like in 1997. And let me tell you, I always enjoyed the music. I always enjoyed the grittiness. And I always liked the fighting moves. I mean, doing combos. I mean, doing really awesome combos. And from what I noticed here, like every time you press the C button, in the first game, I mean, when you press the C button, it sends in like a police car, and it launches a rocket launcher where it literally surrounds you and your opponents within the ring of fire, and it wipes them all out within a second. But in the second game, you can actually pull like a second move, like a special move, for an example, where you can do, where Blaze can do like a Kamehameha of a sort, and it blasts opponents there, beating them within just one punch. And there's a con to it, there's a catch to it, that it drains a little bit of your character's energy. I mean, which kind of sucks, I mean, which kind of defeats the purpose. But But hey, what can you do? But anyway, I always enjoyed it. I mean, beating up guys from left and right, knocking down motherfuckers from left and right, and I always loved it. I always freaking love it. And I also like the bad guys that I can beat the shit out of. I mean, the enemies within the game. I mean, they look better than the first one. Look clean, more crisp, more stylish. Just like the graphics in the game look more stylish as well. And I also love the boss battle music. I mean, just give it a listen. Let me tell you, I always enjoy fighting against the bosses. I mean, it's one of my favorites within the trilogy. But when Streets of Rage 3 came out, I mean, I was blown away here. I always enjoyed like the new character they introduced, Zan, within the group. And to be honest, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I mean, it is a decent game within the trilogy, but let me tell you, look, I know, maybe pausing, but here we go. This game was more difficult. Even in normal mode, it is difficult. I mean, I always love the music. I mean, just give it a listen. Yeah, that's good music right here. But in this game right here, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I mean, oh, I'm sorry. I mean, what am I trying to say here? I mean, this right here, I mean, the music is great. The graphics look great just like before. But in this game, the enemies, they come in multiple numbers and they just gang up on your ass. I mean, they just gang up on you. And I mean, like, you're gonna play this game with 2 players. I mean, but in one, I mean, that's impossible. I mean, in normal mode, I always get my ass handed every time I play this game here, and it's still good. I mean, it's still a good game. I mean, hell, I mean, it's still a good game. I mean, it's decent. And from what I've heard, I mean, you could play as a kangaroo in this. I mean, I don't know if you put in a cheat or like you got to beat the game so you can play it again. I mean, with the kangaroo, I mean, like, what do I know? But I digress. I mean, it's still a great classic. I mean, it still hold up. Hell, I mean, this trilogy is a great game, and I hope and pray that it will come in a new sequel. And for what I found out, that there was going to make the Streets of Rage 4 for the Sega Saturn. I mean, I was thrilled. I mean, it could have been really awesome if they would have had Streets of Rage 4, but due to the circumstances that Sega had to go through, I mean, no. I mean, like, what are the circumstances that it was faced in? I mean, it was later scrapped because Eidos was developing the 3D version for Streets of Rage 4, and it was kind of scrapped due to Sega was being strict on being for the Sega Saturn exclusive. I mean, what am I saying here? I mean, like, it would have been a cool game, but then again, like, we got back Streets of Rage, but this time it was also under the new name Fighting Force. It was really cool. I mean, I wish it was Streets of Rage, but you know, it was all good. I always played it on the PlayStation, but I digress. Look, like, what I'm trying to say here is that I always loved Streets of Rage when I was a kid, and I always loved the classic. I mean, I always enjoyed the trilogy. I always enjoyed it, and I still love it to this day. I mean, I played on my emulators, on my laptop. I mean, as you can see here, this is the footage that I captured here, which I could have used it sooner for my other videos when I started the channel. But hey, I mean, it happens, so it might start at some point. Look, I'm just gonna wrap this up by saying that I always love Streets of Rage. I still love the classics to this day, 1, 2, and 3, and I always enjoyed it. And I hope that they would do like a reboot, I mean, a better reboot. And please, Sega, please, please do a reboot. Please, please. I always love the games here. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this video quick up by saying that give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.